This is Lisa Blakes, and I just wanted to stop in for a quick moment just to share with you a little bit about what I spoke to our church about this morning at our 11 a.m. service in New Home, Houston. And I wanted to just give you a little snippet of what we talked about. And there's a reason. I want to talk to the queens, really. All of the queens that are under the sound of my voice, I want you to gather up because I want us to be in a place where we really walk in the boldness, in the confidence, and in the power that God has given us as queens. And so I wanted to stop by and share with you really quickly just a little bit because this is something that we're going to deal with a little bit more. And the Lord is really impressing upon me that we would talk about this in our Queenology conference this coming August. The ladies and I will have a conversation about this particular subject. And the subject is the imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome is what I talked about in our church this morning. And it was just absolutely delivering. It was amazing because so many people came to the altar as a result of what they learned and what they could face as it pertains to the imposter syndrome. We talked about the causes. We talked about the consequences, the things that happen as a result of the us walking in the imposter syndrome. And then we talked about how we can overcome. And yes, it can. Yes, we can overcome that imposter syndrome. And that is my absolute goal for myself. Because even as I ministered today, that imposter syndrome was coming on me, I tell you. I promise you it was. And it's something that I always have to fight. I fight it all the time because it's always upon me. But the definition of the imposter syndrome, it simply says, it's the persistent inability to believe that one's own success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved because of your own ability or your own efforts or your own skill. So in other words, the imposter syndrome makes you think that although you're very qualified, although you're very trained and you have all of the experiences that's necessary for maybe the position, the job, the office, the relationship, whatever it is you actually have prepared for and you're fully qualified for, the imposter syndrome says, no, you're not. And they're going to find out that you're not qualified. They're going to find out that you're a fraud. And so that plays in your head all the time. And it hinders you from moving forward in the things of God. It hinders you from obtaining all that God has for you. I know it has held me back, but I'm on a definite path now where I am saying that's going to stop. I'm going to put an end to this imposter syndrome in my life. So even as I ministered this morning, that imposter syndrome came and sat right here on the shoulder and said, see, they're not listening. You're not qualified. You shouldn't even be up here. And I had to tell that in the middle of my message, tell that imposter syndrome to shut up. Get away from me. I am qualified. I am complete. And that's my biggest thing every day is I get up and I have to profess who I am. And one of those professions says, I am complete in him. I'm complete in him. Everything that he has called me to do, everything that he has assigned for my hands to do, I am qualified because he began that work in me and he is going to perform it until the end. And I shared with the church today, even as it pertains to my marriage with my husband. It happens in even relationships. When my husband asked me to marry him, one of the things I went crying to God about, I said, well, I love him and I want to marry him, but I don't feel like I qualify to be a first lady. I don't want to be a first lady. I don't qualify to be a first lady. And it was funny because I was telling the church, I didn't even know what the job description was for a first lady, but yet my imposter syndrome said that I wasn't qualified. Well, I had to be qualified because God called me to that place. God called me to marry this man and to be his wife and to be the first lady. So because of that, he had already qualified me for that position, but I didn't that what God called me to, he qualified me perform. And he's still doing a work in me. So that imposter syndrome fought me even with that. So I shared some of my personal business today in our church. And that really helps some people because, you know, you look at me and you think, oh, she has it going on and she has everything in the right place and she doesn't have any issues that she deals with. Yes, I do. I really, really do. And one of those big things is that imposter syndrome. There's many things that I have been afraid of doing because of that imposter syndrome. There's many things that I have procrastinated on doing because that's one of the consequences is that you procrastinate. I've procrastinated on doing because of the imposter syndrome. And so I want to make it my business to not only work through my process, but to help others to work through theirs. And so this year in Queenology 2023, for our weekend registrants, our weekend queens that will be spending the weekend with us, there is a segment that's in the itinerary that is for a pillow talk with me. So that's a time that we're going to spend together in a safe space with other queens. We're going to be in a safe space with other queens in our PJs, and we're going to just leave it all in that room. We're going to leave it all in that room. One of the things we're going to deal with is the imposter syndrome, because I believe that even as we walk as queens, we think that we don't deserve that position. We walk as queens. We say, okay, I am a queen. We wear the t-shirt, all of that good stuff, but we really don't believe that we deserve that position. So we want to make sure this year that we go through this. So the crowning is the topic this year. The crowning is the theme. And I know I hear women, I just can feel you in my spirit saying, I don't deserve a crown. I don't need that. I don't deserve that. I'm not qualified for that. I want to say to you, yes, you are. You absolutely are qualified. You absolutely are a queen, and you absolutely deserve your crown. And so I want to invite you, if you haven't already registered, to come and be a part of Queenology 2023, the crowning experience. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you haven't registered yet, I want you to get registered. Go to queenology.net and register right now. They have payment plans. The team has put great packages together to try to make sure that everyone has the best opportunity to be a part of this particular weekend with us. We are excited, and I'm especially excited that God has dropped in my spirit that we're going to deal with this imposter syndrome. We're going to do it together. We're going to overcome it. We might have boxes of tissue that we're going to cry through it, whatever we have to do. But we are going to deal with some things that are real sensitive to just us girls. And we're going to lay it on the ground. We're going to lay it on the table. We're going to cry it out. We're going to love it out. We're going to be in a safe space to get it all done. So I want to see you there. I want you to be a part of it. I would love to be able to share with you. I'd love to be able to be in that safe space, in that intimate setting with you. So get registered, would you? Get registered, get your girlfriends. Make it a girlfriend weekend. August 25th through the 27th are the dates, and we're going to be at the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans, Louisiana. Go to queenology.net and get yourself registered. You are a queen, and I will see you in August. I love you.